we're off to the races. One more. Okay, we need one more artifact there. A Springleaf Drum would have been gigantic, because then you can cast a 2-drop. Take the Arcbound Ravager. So Arcbound Ravager is the choice here. Colligan's command is going to be able to take care of these Steel Overseers. And then you're just worried about the lands. Which
yeah,
in
the
my
lands
opinion
are a big deal.
Aren't like a huge problem.
I mean, they can be.
They can get away from you. It's
issue.
definitely one of the advantages of the modern. Of the Affinity deck is that instead of being dead draws, these lands are actually creatures that the Jund deck has to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how Kyle does this here. Alright, Thoughtseize again. Oh man.
He's going to get this cranial plating.
So Zach's draw was a cranial plating, which Kyle should take, in my opinion.
I agree. So this Ornithopter is going to become a 1/3 next turn. Steel Overseer is going to become a 2/2. But you still get to 2-for-1 these two
the Overseers. With your Colligan's command.
If Zach lets you.
Right.
So he could do something like fire up the Blink Moth and then pump that instead. Probably would have if he drew an extra land.
Right,
here we go.
Okay. Alright, so Zach's going to get in for 1 here.
Alright, now
and
both of these Steel Overseers are going to bite the dust here.
Yep, and Kyle's going to get ahead by 1,000,000 miles. Yep.
1,000,000 miles.
Yeah, so I mean, we're down to a 1/3 flying, and this 2/2 flying infect guy.
Yeah, but 2/2 flying infect is something that Kyle definitely needs to answer. Oh, he draws a Ravager.
Well, that Ravager could have been a problem if the Steel Overseers are still on the board, so there's something. Terminate in hand.
Something. So his debate right now is that he has a Bob and a Scavenging Ooze.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a Terminate, so he doesn't want to cast both. Well, now he's casting the Bob.
Yeah, so Bob's the right choice here. So Zach has to keep firing up the same manland in order to get to a point in which he can win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So what Kyle wants to do here is terminate the Ink Moth Nexus that has a counter on it. I wonder if he can convince Zach to go all in on it. 2, 3. All right, so now you terminate.
All right. So now Kyle is taking
3.
0 off of Bob.
Yeah, moves a land through his stuff here, and we're gonna get a
Scavenging Ooze.
Scavenging Ooze down. Bob's gonna come in for 2 probably.
I would think so.
Yeah, so Kyle has a lot of wiggle room here now that he's got this Scavenging Ooze online.
Yeah, we've got 3 creatures in the yard.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So instead of using the the blink moths to increase the poison count of the ink moth nexus. He's chosen to attack with them and spread his damage out. Personally, here I would have. Kyle has 1 card in hand and 2 lands available to him. Abrupt Decay can't target a land.
Right.
And so he's down to Fatal pushing that Ink Moth Nexus.
He can terminate it.
No, he didn't have red available.
Oh.
This turn. So this turn I would have gone in on the Ink Moth for 3. And then you have 1, 2. You have 5 artifacts to. Okay, so
thinking if he can go all in on this infect plan, he's 1 short.
I think if he would have not attacked with the Blink Moth Nexus and used it to pump the Ink Moth, he would have been able to.
Entirely possible.
Not just possible, probable.
Probable. Man, okay.
Yeah, the Ink Moth Nexus is proven to be a big deal here.
Sending both. This is a bit egregious, I think.
Alright, so 6 puts Zach to 12, and now if Kyle can bluff here, he can do a lot of work with...
Yeah, he needs to bluff. I would have probably held the Bob back and just played a land for turn.
Just bluff the whole hand. Yeah, so last turn Zach could have hit him on just Fatal Push to win him the game. And I don't think that that's... See, here he's spreading out his attackers again. I think if you condense that...
Gotta block the Ravager here.
Yep, blocking the Ravager is a good call. And we'll see if Zach's going to play into it. See, he could play into it lightly. Oh, he might play all the way into it. There's 4. How far will he go?
Zach did take 6 last turn. Alright, so he's going to 5, so... Interesting. So Zach's at 12. He's not dead on the swing back here.
Well, he could be if... Holy smokes.
Kyle is... let's see, he's taking
so
1,
Zach's
2...
at the point he's got to think about it. He's got to figure out what he wants to do now.
So Kyle's taking 2. I think he's out of range of this second Bob killing him. So then if he has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... Yeah, he has it on the swing back.
Yeah,
if
because
he sacrifices this Ravager.
Right, because the Scavenging Ooze goes up.
Yeah, Scavenging Ooze goes up, and he has a Raging Ravine.
Right. Alright, so Zach went for it, realizing that, I don't know if you realized that Kyle had him on the swing back.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's entirely possible. Kyle definitely had him on the swing back. He could have stopped him from winning on the swing back if he would have let the Ravager kill the Bob naturally.
Right.
So he had that option as an out as well, I believe. So it would have been 6, 7, 8 plus 4. No, that should have killed him too. Yeah, he had to go all in. That was his only chance.
Well, I mean, there was a million other ways he could have attacked / blocked. I don't think...
There was only one way to block. But, like, once he committed those attacks...
Oh, sure. I'm just saying is that, like...
That was
on that turn, I would have crept up... I would have...
Just activated the Inkmoth Nexus?
Yeah, just activate the Inkmoth Nexus, get in for 1... force Kyle to, like... So if he forces Kyle to, like, make some attacks, and you peck away with him with this Inkmoth Nexus, maybe Kyle gets down to a situation where he has many less lands untapped, or, you know...
Right. I don't mind the attack. He should have definitely kept the Blinkmoth Nexus back. At least one of them back. Like, I understand you don't want to go all in on the Inkmoth plan if you're playing against Jund and they have a ton of artifact removal and just removal in general for your Inkmoth Nexus.
Right.
And you don't have another Inkmoth Nexus, then all of that damage is for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of see spreading it around. I think keeping a single Blinkmoth back to pump it would have increased the clock or decreased the clock by a turn without going all in.
The previous turn?
Yes. So if he had done it the previous turn, he could have gone all in and won, which we discussed.
Right.
But additionally, if he would have just pumped it and gotten it up to 3,
mm-hmm.
and then next turn got it up to 3, and then he was dead on the swing back even without going all in on the Ravager.
Right.
So, but given the way he played the previous turn, I think that turn's attack was probably optimal. I think he's just trying to give himself the most options. Does that make sense? I don't know that that's the way you want to play it, but I think that's his mindset.
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting. So the Affinity deck does have this place where it you have to, like, decide which path you're gonna take,
mm-hmm.
and you have to decide how aggressively you're gonna commit to that path.
Sure.
And so there we kind of saw, you know, a little bit of a hedge. I think he was hedging, and I think hedging too much at the wrong time can spell demise.
Spell demise.
D-E-M-I-S-E.
Wow.
Demise.
So I think you can hedge a little bit more, and you should hedge a little bit more in these Jund matchups, just because you can't afford to get blown out. But at the same time, if the opportunity is there, you got to go for it.
What do we got on the chat? Just a little bit of metagame discussion.
A little bit of inaccurate metagame discussion.
Are you seeing some wild inaccuracies?
No. Nothing wild.
Nothing egregious.
We've left out one of the top decks in the metagame.
Well, this is Top Deck Productions. Tell me about it.
Well, he's talking about the top decks in the metagame right now. And there's actually a Jund Death Shadow that's the most popular deck in the metagame, but it's slowly decreasing in popularity. And then there's the blue-black X Death Shadow decks that are gaining a lot of popularity, picking up all those people that are abandoning Jund Death Shadow, I believe.
Yeah.
But also, I think Dredge is the second most played deck in the format right now.
Dredge?
Dredge.
Didn't take the wings off that Hellkite.
Yeah, I mean,
entirely, did we?
It's not winning a ton, but it is.
It's getting played a ton.
It's getting played a lot. People like their Dredge.
Their non-interactive games of Magic.
Yeah, it's out of date, is what I'm telling you. Your information's bad.
Fake news.
Nice fake news, Jake. Jake news.
Oh, jeez.
Let's see if Kyle can keep his 7. Kyle keeps his 7.
Kyle's on
Zach
7.
throws
Zach's
his
down
back.
to 5.
Down to 5. Oh my.
Oh, you. All right. So if I was gonna force you to play an Affinity deck, which Ornithopter picture would you want?
Which Ornithopter picture?
Yeah.
It would have to be the original.
Do you like the Antiquities Ornithopters?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's one I use as well. Glad we concur on that sentiment.
Like, some of the other art is, like, technically better, but it's not, like, enough better to make me want to play that over the original. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think they're all very similar. I don't think any of them are particularly good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not even the Masterpiece one?
Oh, the Masterpiece one.
What if it wasn't foil?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to see it.
This is just... It's a kind of Affinity start that really just annoys you.
Annoys who?
Annoys... I mean, I'm annoyed by it. We're looking at a hand of 6?
So we were actually talking about this before the match.
A hand of 5, and he just, like, unloads.
He unloads a bunch of nothing. We were just talking about who is actually favored in this matchup. Taylor's opinion as an Affinity player is that Jund is slightly favored because they've moved towards Fatal Push and away from Lightning Bolt.
Uh-huh.
I'm of the opinion that it's
an accurate perception of what I've said. I just want people to know that you're not lying.
I quoted you. All right.
You're not fake news. You're telling the truth. You're representing me faithfully.
Okay, good. On the other hand, I think it's still very, very close to 50-50.
Here's an 0-1 Goyf.
I would say that Kyle is very favored in this particular game.
Even with this 0-1 Goyf?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes Goyf's just an 0-1. Whatever. Nice Mem Knight.
There's an Inquisition. So he has 3 colored spells. I would be firing off the Galvanic Blast here, as this damage matters. You don't want to just, you don't want to just let him have everything.
Yeah, his thought is he's banking on these as removal spells, and he's going to take one of the 2 removal spells.
Zach has this habit of discussing the plays as they happen.
I think that's helpful to a degree in
if we're playtesting,
yeah,
and you want to do that, that's fine. It's find it fairly grating during actual match play.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
All right.
Perfectly fine.
Well, I knew it wouldn't be too long that we would be in agreement, so. Dispatch is the unknown card. This is a card that allows you to
exile a creature. It lets you exile a creature. Blood Moon off the top.
Alright.
Seems pretty darn good.
So Kyle has not had an opportunity to fetch any lands, but he has basics in his deck.
He's got a force in hand, which I would hold on to.
Yeah.
So the force could set up a turn where like you can play a Hunt Master or something like that.
Right.
And I don't know that you want to give that information up.
Alright, here's Edge Champion.
Oh man, and this Anger of the Gods is just so sad now.
Concur.
Well, how many artifacts does he have? Oh, he has 4.
Right.
So we would need a swamp to set up a Colgan's command into this Anger.
Also, Ancient Grudge is still live for him. It's a red card with a green flashback.
Yeah, Ancient Grudge is a solid one.
It's not, you're not getting the flashback value on it, but
I mean, he's got the force. So if he can get rid of this Rest in Peace first.
Yeah, we would need Maelstrom Pulse.
Or Abrupt Decay.
Sure, okay. Abrupt Decay is a real thing. Would you Abrupt Decay the Blood Moon or the Rest in Peace?
The Blood Moon. Depends on what else was in my hand at that point. Like, I assume I've already got a swamp.
Right.
Because otherwise, how else am I casting the Abrupt Decay? So probably the Rest in Peace.
Yeah.
Well, getting the Blood Moon also turns on your 3 Raging Ravines, which is a pretty big deal.
Sure. It's a lot of Raging Ravines. Here's Anger of the Gods.
Well, it doesn't actually kill that Edge Champion.
Alright. Oh, jeez. Cards everywhere.
Alright. Slows down the clock significantly.
Yep. And this one's kind of a no-brainer in that you get this cranial plating down.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking about. He might be thinking about maybe attaching it. But
I would just attack first, see what happens.
Yeah.
Then get it down and attach it. Get it down, attach it the next turn.
Because you're not swinging with it anyway.
Well, no, I think you want to attack every turn.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, even if you attach it now, you're not able to swing with the Edge Champion, so what's the point?
Right, concur.
Oh, it's just
chose not to do anything.
interesting.
It's not how I would have played that turn, but,
Scavenging Ooze go. Well, we've got a 2/2.
alright. No, it can't do. It cannot animate it. So. All right.
Cat goes on to 10. Time's running out on drawing an out.
An out being a swamp. So yeah, if you're Zachary, you literally just want to play whatever card you draw.
Didn't get the swamp.
Didn't get there. Well, that's what happens when you draw sideboard cards in modern games.
Yep. It does happen. Kyle's got to be pretty frustrated because he Inquisitioned him the turn before.
The rest in peace?
Well, he Inquisitioned him the turn before the Blood Moon.
Oh, sure.
and then he top decks the Blood Moon.
Right.